I can't help but be racist. It's true.
You shut your goddamn whore mouth.
How dare you!
Go suck a big fucking dick.
When I vomited in the bed, I just laid in it. I'm not even fucking with you. Welcome. 2 cracks, baby. Hang on. Eating a Zack, baby. Woo, Lordy. How's everybody doing? Hello, Trey Trimble. Trey Trimble was just giving you props. Denise, no, not Denise. It's, who said it? Lipicolo says, I love the 3D intro. That is by your very own Trey Trimble right down there. Give him a big wet lickery kiss. Make him feel like a woman. Okay, I'm almost starting. 1 second. I gotta tell you guys, so I was, don't mean to be late. I'm not that late, but I'm playing this racquetball game on my MetaQuest, and I really like it a lot, and it kind of distracts me to the point that I have to look up where there's a virtual clock, and it's like, oh shit, I'm about to miss the stream, so I apologize about being delayed. Josija says, am I playing Baldur's Gate 3? Yes, but I am going to play it when it comes to PS5, and we'll be talking about that in just a little bit. How are you fellas? Hello, Nikki T. Nikki T has joined us here for the show today. I appreciate that. All right, we got a lot to talk about. I think what we should do, let me ask you guys a question first. I want to tell you what I played. So I made a video about playing the Trial of Gotham Knights on PS5, and I was like, it's okay. It's okay. And I don't think I'll buy it even if it's $20 the more I think about it, because I just don't have enough time. There's too many good things to play. The days of, I have nothing to play, might as well dig into these $20 games. Those are over in terms of discounted. But then I played Callisto Protocol, right? And I was going to do a video on that, and I haven't done it yet, but I played Callisto, and I was just like, I really liked it. Like, I liked it to the point that I need to kind of consider buying it. I don't want to buy it right now because there's too much stuff coming out during the holidays, but I played an hour, and that was all the trial gave me, and I'm like, this was pretty fucking good. Does it get worse? Is that what it is? Because when I played it, I was like, this is great. It looks great. The music is great. The sound is great. The story is really interesting. It reminded me of like a 70s, early 80s sci-fi horror movie like Outlander with Connery, of course, Alien. Are the critics on this one just wrong? I mean, even if you go and you look at the Metacritic, it's like a 6.7 from both consumers and critics, and I'm just kind of like, what am I missing here? It gets better. Jaffe says, Alex, the game is fantastic. Yo Goddamn Clown says it's game of the year. Okay, I hear you, and that's even more motivation to play it. Masochista says Callisto was good. I really liked it. So what do you think the problem was? I mean, you can't tell me all of these people just kind of, all of these critics just kind of like hated it. Like, what? I don't get it. Okay, hang on. Wooden's Throne says the game was horrible before the quality of life patches. Okay, it could be kind of like a Days Gone issue, because with Days Gone, I played Days Gone, a year maybe after it came out, and I played it on a PS5, and I was like, this is great. Other than the golf cart scene, this is fucking great. But a lot of people were like, yeah, but you don't understand. When it first came out, which is what the reviews were based on, that wasn't what we were playing and that wasn't what we were reviewing. And it's like, okay, I get it. I get it then. That makes sense. Okay, then I will absolutely be picking it up. I'm so stuck in not Baldur's Gate, Elden Ring. These fucking God Peeler duo guys. I've already fought them once. Now they keep respawning. I've got the Mimic tier guy. I'm ready. I'm almost there. I'm so tired of... I just want to be done with that fucking game. I love it. It's my favorite game of all time. But I want to be done with it. I'm tired of it taking me so long. I have so many other fucking things that I want to play. But anyway, that's one thing I wanted to tell you about. I appreciate it, chat, for you guys educate me on it. So I will pick it up. Absolutely. There you go. I'm not picking this up. I just put that up to remind me to mention it to you fellas. Listen to this. Is this news? No, it's more of a query. Then we'll get into the news. Listen to this. I saw this on NeoGAF. This is an interesting conundrum people may find themselves in right about now. Basically, if you trade in at GameStop a good condition Series X, it will get you $385, right? And then if you're a Pro member, it says you get $50 as a bonus for trading in consoles like the X. That'll give you $435. That means if you want a brand new PS5, you only have to pay $15 out of pocket. This is tough as we head into Christmas. This is a tough one as we head into Christmas. I mean, I have both, but, look, there's a lot of people right now that still don't understand the value of Game Pass until, I know, and we'll talk briefly about Call of Duty. They finally came out and said the new Modern Warfare 3 is coming out in November. I don't know if there's any chance in hell that that's going to go day one on Game Pass or anything like that, or they're going to do a big campaign to market all the stuff coming to Game Pass because the deal's pretty much done for the most part. But that is tough because when you look at Spider-Man coming and you look at Baldur's Gate, which we'll talk about in a second, which is not an exclusive, but it pretty much might as well be an exclusive, at least before the holidays. I don't know. I don't know. What do you think? I could see a lot of people would be trading in their Xbox X's because I don't think it's done a good... I mean, I love my Xbox, but I don't think it's done a good enough job endearing it to enough gamers that are just sort of core, semi-core, that they wouldn't go, fuck this, I made a bad bet, I'll go with the PS5. Fanto says, a few folks might do it, but I doubt it'll shift the needle too much. I mean... it's certainly not going to hurt Sony, that's for sure. So I don't have a PS5 yet, says Lou. You might as well wait for the Pro model. I guess that's true. If that's on your radar as well. Am I going to play Armored Core? Probably. I don't know, man. Think about this. I mean, there is so much coming. I don't know. I just don't know. I'm really kind of having an existential crisis as a gamer right now. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to play. I don't know what to finish. It's too much. It's too much. But for absolute sure, Armored Core 6, I got my eye on it. Twisted Black talking about Callisto, he says, I found it awful. It completely lost me in the opening section. I got it at launch. I've never given up on a full price game so quickly. Isn't that fascinating? What is it that lost you about Callisto Protocol? I mean, they crash and he's in a cool looking prison and there's monsters running around and he has to go to a control room. That's as far as I got in the first hour. What was awful about it? What was terrible? I don't understand. That may not be a bad idea. Masochista says, Jaffe, do a gaming night for Elden Ring so we can help you out. That's probably the only way I'm going to get it done at this point, as I need some help. Yeah, I know. Awesome says Starfield's going to take a lot of my time. Right. Why wait for the Pro if GameStop will give you so much of your money back, says Chase. Get the PS5 now, then when the Pro comes out, trade it. That's a good point, too. The point is, though, fuck, it's a good deal. It's a good deal, and Xbox, I'll tell you something, Xbox, I mean, maybe they're just like, you know what, we concede. You guys can have this generation. We don't even believe in generations anymore. And we got Xbox, we got Activision, we're going to be fine. But let's not even worry about trying to worry about this Christmas. Because, what are they, I don't know. I don't know. I don't disagree, NC. NC says this is the gin to just get a PC instead of a console. I can agree with that to a large extent. Okay. People, says Wooden's Throne, don't like Callisto even more now since the DLC doesn't give closure. I actually heard the DLC was pretty good. Okay. Anyway, there you go. Let's see what's going on. All right. Hey, it's time for the news. God damn it. Come on now.
An extra, extra! Read all about it, life story.
Shut the fuck up!
It's true. It's true. Listen to this. Redfall players are unhappy with dev's silence, says xputer.com. Well, of course they are. This is interesting. Harvey Smith, who I remain a big fan of, has said that, or when they were promoting the game, now you can laugh at it. Kevin says Redfall LMAO, but let me tell you the story. It says when they were promoting the game, he was like, this is going to have more content post-launch than any game we've ever made. And now we're going on 3, 4, 5 months. Terrible game, according to a lot of people. I've played it. I'll tell you my thoughts in a quick moment. But other than some bug patches and a couple of little AI tweaks here and there, they haven't done anything. There are people who literally paid money for the Bite Back edition, which was supposed to have other characters. Xbox pretty much, other than almost, legally, came out and said there's going to be a 60 frames per second patch for the X. And I know they're hiring over there. And it's hard to know, are they hiring because they are trying to continue building Redfall, or are they hiring because they're just going to move on? I got to tell you, I love the idea of Redfall. I love the art of Redfall. I love the world building of it. And I remain a Harvey Smith fan and a fan of simulation-based games. And, I would love to see this as a game that Microsoft says, you know what? No, we fucked the bed. We shat the bed and fucked the bed. But fuck it, we're going to keep putting money into it. We're going to make this into the franchise it deserves to be. There's nothing about it that's bad at a conceptual level. It's just it's got a lot of fucking problems. I don't know. Would you rather see them spend, another year just continuing? I mean, that's the way of the world these days. That's Cyberpunk and that's Battlefield 2042. Why not? I'd rather see him spend 6 months and going, fuck it, boys, dig down. Let's get our moxie back and let's get our mojo back and let's make what we wanted to make. Because whenever I see news on Redfall, I'm like, oh, I want to go back and play that again. It's not good. It has a lot of problems. I'm not out here defending it. I gave up after 2 days. But I really fucking like the world and I like the idea of it. Dinez says they're working on some DLC, but I'd rather see them wrap things up and do a new project. It was a miss. Time to move on. When is it ever time to move on? What do you mean? Wooden's Throne says Redfall should have never been released. The devs didn't want it to be released. I guess what I think Wooden's Throne, what you're talking about is when they were acquired, Microsoft came in and said, this game, which is designed to be a single player narrative sandbox game, now it's got to be a service-based game. And they didn't want to do it, but they kind of were forced to do it, if that's what you mean. Because I know Redfall was in design and production well before the acquisition, or at least sometime before the acquisition. Water Princess says the same thing was said about Sea of Thieves. I don't know what you're talking about. Sea of Thieves didn't launch in the state of Redfall. I don't know. I don't want to see him give up. I really, really don't. I don't think there's, unless the team is like, look, if Microsoft may have gone to him and said, look, we want you guys to keep at it. Here's money for 2 more years. Just go. Turn this around. It's a great concept. And Harvey and his team are just like, look, our heart's not in it. We'll do it, but we'd really rather move on. This was just a shit clusterfuck of a clusterfuck. If that's the case, then okay, I'm with you. I'd rather see them walk away. But assuming that's not the case, I don't know, man. I like this IP a lot. I like the setting of this where vampires are a lot. It bugs me. Eddie T says, didn't people pay for DLC? They did. And in fact, people paid for DLC with Redfall. They haven't gotten the characters yet. And not only has Arcane not said anything about it, but when they reach out to them and say, okay, just fuck it, give me a refund. Apparently my understanding is they haven't responded to refunds either. QuakeCon is coming up in a couple of days. QuakeCon is Bethesda, right? I wonder if there'll be any news, because I mean, have they ever done any of the Arcane stuff at QuakeCon, or it's all pretty much the id stuff? I think they have. They've done like some of the, maybe we'll see Starfield news or any of that shit, or no? But isn't that the same group at QuakeCon? Yeah, Quake 2 Remaster is rumored to be coming out next week or this week. Bob Boddernick, can I send you my game and see if you want to review it? Sure. Can't guarantee I will, but I'll look at it if you don't mind. Okay. But anyway, there you go. The other thing I'll tell you is, when you launch a game and you know it's pretty much dead, I'll tell you, man. I'll tell you, if it, when we launched Drawn to Death, I've said this before, I knew the first weekend we were dead. Sony didn't know. I remember calling them and going, guys, what are we going to do? They're like, what are you talking about? These are good numbers. I'm like, and I didn't want to push it. I'm like, oh, okay, great. You're happy. Great. And me and Nick are looking at the numbers and going, oh shit, dude. The most we ever got was 10,000 concurrent users. And that was Friday night, the week the game released. And by Saturday afternoon, we were down to like 4. And it's like, these are not good numbers. This is a fucking trajectory of shit coming in hot. And so I got busy focusing on keeping the company open and working with Nick to find a new game. Did we want to sign this deal with Sony? We were talking about doing a car combat game with a South Korean company. No, a North Korean company, Jaffe, you idiot. A South Korean company. If I had actually been in the trenches at that point, designing levels and all this shit, I don't know, man. I don't know how you find the motivation. I just don't know how you find the fucking motivation. So I don't know. I'd love to be a fly on the wall at Arcane and see what that morale is like right now. Eddie T says Halo Infinite is much better now, but still needs to have bugs ironed out. I have seen a lot of hype the last week on the internet, and it's made me want to go back and play some Halo. So I think I will this week because people have been saying it's a lot better. But I mean, that is, look, like it, love it, hate it. You support it. It's your money that creates this situation, which is to say, you guys and me, you enable the industry to say Battlefield 2042, not a problem, we'll turn it around. Halo Infinite, not a problem, we'll turn it around. Rainbow Six, I mean, that's, Cyberpunk, which I love now, that's the business now. So, you got to forgive these guys if they're sitting in a meeting going, yeah, we know it's not ready. We know it's not ready. Don't worry about it. It'll be ready in 2 years. Well, let's make some money now. I mean, serious. Yeah, Chester, I agree. Chester says, as someone who loved the next-gen update to Cyberpunk, you can turn it around. I'm exactly with you. I played Cyberpunk day one. I enjoyed it. Didn't have a lot of bugs, but I was like, okay, I'll play it later. The next time I came back to it was the big patch update, and I fell in love with it. Just fucking phenomenal. Fucking phenomenal. Do you think if they release a game, says Arnold, like Halo Infinite on the next Nintendo, it can bring the game back to life? Do you think, I don't understand, a game like Halo Infinite? Oh, you're saying if Nintendo put out a first party game and it shits the bed, do they have the same kind of freedom to fail and still turn it around? That's an interesting question. I don't really know that. I mean, they've never done that. I don't think they would. But let's just for a moment imagine if these guys put out a new Mario and it was just terrible. It was just fucking terrible. And it got shit reviews. And, they just kept working on it. I mean, I guess they'd be given the same. The only reason it's a little bit more interesting to me to wonder is because so much of their games are family and so much of their games are kids. Not all of them, of course. I'm not saying that. But, I'm sure a large percentage of Super Mario Wonder, is that what it's called, the new one, is going to be families and kids. And so are they as discriminating to begin with? I don't know. But no, I mean, Nintendo doesn't really have this kind of problem. Except, I guess, you could argue, I mean, there are little weird little things, but they didn't shit the bed, they just weren't very good, like the fucking cardboard thing or whatever. Okay. Let's move ourselves down the line. Listen to this. I know, man. I know that Baldur's Gate 3 is not an exclusive. But it might as well be an exclusive, right? I mean, I was looking at Benji Sales, does analytics about games on the YouTube. Look at this. He says, here are the top pre-orders right now on PlayStation in the United States. FC24, which is the new EA FIFA. Not FIFA, you know what I mean. Spidey 2. Mortal Kombat 1. Madden 24. Baldur's Gate. RPG. Baldur's Gate 3 is the number one. $79.99, by the way. The $79.99 version, it looks like. Maybe it says $79. Maybe it's all the versions. Is the number one pre-order game on the goddamn cockadoodie PlayStation 5. It's coming out the same week as Starfield. Come on. I mean, there are gaming gods and we're living in a simulation. Either that or Jim Ryan's got a voodoo doll, or he prays to some kind of voodoo fucking witch somewhere, and the witch is just like, yeah, give me, 10 gallons of blood from, I don't fucking know, and I don't know where the blood comes from. Jesus, I can't do everything for you. Fuck. But he gets the blood and he gives it to the voodoo witch, and she does the spell. And then the spell basically says, okay, we'll make sure if you got yourself an Xbox, you can't play Baldur's Gate. If you're fucking Sony, I hope that they are marketing the shit out of this come the holidays. Because it really is. I mean, assuming that the game is as good on PS5 as it is on PC, you couldn't ask for a better game to go head-to-head with Starfield. It's got the same level of immersion, it sounds like, and the sandboxy bullshit. Wait. Desmond says because it's coming to Game Pass. Are you telling me that Baldur's Gate is coming to Game Pass? Baldur's Gate 3? I don't think so. That would be a hell of a get if it was true. But I've not heard that. You're not telling me that's true, is it? Masochista says, yeah, but Jaffe, it's not a movie game. PlayStation players don't care for that stuff. Yeah, I get it. But Spider-Man 2 will fill that gap. You really think that Baldur's Gate, with all the love and all the hype, will not be massive on PlayStation just because it's not a movie game? X-Hawk says Starfield is a real-time RPG. So is Baldur's Gate. I mean, unless you're talking about the combat. But, and I saw people over the weekend playing Baldur's Gate 3, where they were playing it from kind of a Dragon Age camera, right? So you can make it look like a movie game. And people were saying that it was really good when you played in that perspective. So you don't, a lot of people are imagining it's just going to be this top-down isometric thing like Diablo. but it looks like a movie game. I mean, it doesn't look as good as Spider-Man, of course. Sean says it's going to be absolutely massive on console. I think it is too. If Baldur's was potentially coming to Game Pass, Ryan would sell his own blood to prevent it. When he walks away, just like, remember when Obama went into office, he looked like full of energy and piss and vinegar, and he comes out and his hair's all just, just he looks like Rogue in the X-Men when her hair just all turned white, or that part of her hair, and just tired as shit. When Jim Ryan walks away from Sony, he's going to just look emaciated. I mean, he's going to look like somebody rescued a prisoner of war. I can't imagine this job is good for his health. It's just constant up and down, up and down. The learning curve, says Dave D, on Baldur's Gate is really, really rough. Yeah, I mean, that could push people away. I could see that. Fonzie says, I mean, XCOM Enemy Unknown was pretty well loved on consoles despite isometric. Yeah, I get it. I mean, the turn-based stuff I don't think is a problem. I think, I think it's, it'll push some people away. But I don't think if you're going to play Starfield, you're not going to play Baldur's Gate. If you're in for that, you're in for this. The people who won't play Baldur's Gate are probably the people who are only going to play action games or fighting games, or, they're not really looking at games as I want to lose myself in an experience of a narrative and shit. Brett Williams says that it's ridiculous. The top-selling games on PlayStation are nearly always the big third-party games, not Sony. That's true. PlayStation players play everything like everyone else. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I think maybe they're not as known for everything else. Maybe so he gets a little confused in saying that's what they're known for, so that's all they got. But I have no doubt it'll play well. Baldur's Gate will be my Christmas game, says Fanto. Starfield and Spider-Man will be my life until December. I don't understand you people. How do you have the time? So you're telling me you will finish Starfield, which will come out in September. That gives you September, October, November. And Spider-Man, which will probably take you 2 days to finish, 3 days to finish. You've got that kind of time that you'll be able to finish Starfield before Christmas? I don't understand. Yeah, Kevin says it looks like a fucking 300-hour game. Serv says I want to lose myself in Starfield. I do too. I booked time off work, says Fanto. How much time did you book? I mean, shit. I'll need fucking a year to play that game and finish it. Scotty Woodford says, Jaffe, hey, thank you for being a member, buddy, for 17 months. I appreciate it very, very much, man. Why can't you guys be more like Scotty Woodford, huh? You fucking monsters. He says, hey, my girlfriend's birthday's tomorrow. Can you say happy early birthday? Her name is Selena. Sure, you got it, pal. One moment. Let me get my birthday. Selena, it's your birthday. I know that you're miserable in your relationship. And I know you're sending me a code and saying, get me out of here. But I can't, because that would go against the... I don't know, Selena. All I know, Selena, is this. When I vomited in the bed, I just laid in it. It's true. With you. It's totally true, Selena. Hey, it's Selena's birthday, everybody. Everybody give her an emote of a cake, and let's all sing her a happy birthday. So happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Selena. Hey, Selena, happy birthday. Treat Scotty good and tell Scotty to fucking treat you like a queen. Be well. Hello, Jay Styles. Come on now. Masochistic, thank you, buddy. 14 months, Diet Soda Soldier. She says, I am breaking up with my girlfriend last week. Do you have a time machine? Oh, I see. I'm breaking up with my girlfriend the last week of August so that I can play Starfield in peace. Let me tell you something. There's enough ladies out there, and men, whatever you're into, that like video games, that the idea of falling in love and marrying or getting serious with someone who doesn't share that hobby, it's a waste of time. It's a waste of fucking time. Because it takes a lot of time, and if you can game together with someone, what a great way to be. Where did I get what sound effect? This? Yeah, Brett Williams says, I married a gamer. There you go. There you go. My girlfriend hid my Xbox Series X till I get her a PS5 that plays discs. Oh, man. That's harsh. That's not good. I can't smoke, Mutant Mo. I got to do the show. That sound effect is, honestly... yeah, RPG says it's too time consuming. If I can't talk about Tears of the Kingdom at the dinner table, I don't want it. Okay. Candy Crunch is a game. It is a game. That's true. It doesn't have to be a woman. I mean, again, it's not like, I'm just saying whatever your partner is. Garrick says, I've been loving Baldur's Gate on the PC, and I'm worried how you play it using a console controller. There's like 20 to 30 spells. My understanding from people, I read an article this weekend, and the writer played the game with the controller controls. And apparently it was really good. Apparently he's like, this plays fantastic. Okay, so my girl and I are starting Baldur's Gate split screen on Thursday with 2 Xbox 360. I don't even understand that. So Baldur's Gate 3 is split screen too? And you can go wherever you want? I mean, how does it load in the level? Or is it just... I mean, that's amazing. I mean, other games have done that, but I've never known a game with all the icons on screen and all that shit. How are you going to be able to play that in split screen? But that sounds great. Alex says, what's the reason you never gave us the Barbie movie review? I just didn't want to. I mean, I saw it. Oh, maybe it's a single shared screen. Oh, I have no idea. Yeah, I saw Barbie. I thought it was great. I loved it. I cried in it at the very end. Not the very end. That was a joke, but I thought it was a great movie. At first, I didn't like it because I was like the first 15 minutes until she says that line about death. I was just kind of like, okay, I get it. But once that kicked in, I thought it was great. It was a great movie. It was interesting. It was unique. It had something cool to say. I dug it. I don't know. I was a fan. Best movie I've seen in the theater in a long time. I think it's for kids. Bill Bone says I like it's not for kids. I think it's totally for kids and adults. I think it's connects with both. I have not gotten your Discord message yet, Rocker Matt. I haven't checked Discord yet today. Is Barbie woke? I don't know what that means. For you, if you actually use the word woke unironically, it probably is too woke for you. Because, it takes on what it is like, at least for certain women, to be a woman. And part of that is, smash the patriarchy. And whether you're into that or not, that's your mileage will vary. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about Destiny 2 for a minute. Oh, I do want to say that people are saying, oh, well, see, look at the reason it's not coming to Xbox before 2024 is they've got to make it work for the S. That's a real interesting conundrum that they've put themselves in, because you would think, I don't know, man. I like what the S does. I like what it's about. I like what it promises. But is it worth that if you have to put up with the delays, or even sometimes just going, look, we're not going to ship on your box at all? If we have to be on the S, we're just not going to do it. But I get, let's put it this way. I don't even understand it really, because, there are PCs. I'm waiting to play Baldur's Gate 3 on PS5 because my current PC, I don't think can run it very well. I wonder why that's any different with the S. Why can't you just kind of go, look, it's going to run like it runs on the S? But I mean, they're kind of stuck with it, right? They can't sell it to people and then say it'll run any disc that the X will run, and then it won't. I mean, I guess they could, I don't know legally how they adjust that. Water Princess says Sony paid them. It would not surprise me. I mean, it's not illegal, is it? Would it be illegal for Sony to go to a developer and say, look, keep it on the down low if you can, but it'll come out in our taxes, but we're going to pay you, I don't know, $20 million to push the release. I mean, you'll piss Microsoft off, but you can just lie to them and say, oh, it's tech reasons, even though our contract, I mean, I don't know. I just wonder about that. I don't know if that would be legal. I want to let you know. What do you mean it's dumb? Fuck you, noobs for hire. How is that dumb? How is that dumb? That's good business if you can pull it off. It's shitty. Brett Williams says it's not illegal, but I doubt they pulled the move this time. Yeah, they were going to fucking Starfield saying, let's pay you to make this exclusive. Why would this be somehow beyond them? That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's what a good business person would do. Of course it's shady as hell. But you think these people are your friends? They're assholes. They're cutthroat. I want to tell you who's not an asshole, who's not cutthroat. Septic Sauce. Septic Sauce was in my dream last night. He was wearing pantyhose and he was wearing a costume that made him look like one of the extras from that movie about the Billy the Kid thing with the brother of Ben Affleck, and he gave 5 memberships. I woke up, it wasn't a dream, it was real. Septic Sauce, thank you for gifting 5 Diet Soda Soldier memberships to people here. We got RPG, Billy Bones, Water Princess, Louie, Love of the Connecticut Loves, really good family there. And the Zeke was all gifted a membership by good sir Septic Sauce. Thank you, pal. I really, really appreciate that, man. It's very generous and very nice. Thanks, sir. I would love if Sony paid them, says Fewpie, but it's simply just the Series S. Yeah, I don't fucking know what it is. Oh, Septic Sauce is Gaz. Fuck you, Gaz. I'm mad at you. You know why? I don't need you to love me. Remember that? That from Color Purple? It doesn't matter. I don't need you to send me anything except the name of where I can get the fucking pipe stem. Septic gave me these beautiful pipes, and they're customized. There's one with sweet tooth on the end there, and I have this stem, but the plastic one you can't get on Amazon. And I says to the fella, I says, hey, Gaz, hook me up with who those people are that make this beautiful pipe you gave me as a gift so I can, get some extras, because I chew on them and they break. I got a bone to pick with you, sir. All right. Let's talk about, thank you, Septic Sauce. Listen, Destiny 2. People are upset. Whatever. I don't care. It's two things interest me about this. The reason my understanding is the reason a lot of Destiny hardcore fans are upset. There's a mode, I have never played it, called Gambit. Multiplayer. PvPvE or something. Apparently, it's hardcore players really like it. Not terribly popular compared to the other multiplayer modes. So Bungie comes out and says, hey, we're not really offering a lot of support. We're not giving any new stuff for it, this build. Maybe down the road, but, not enough people play it. And let me tell you two things about that. The first one is, I get it. I get their frustration. Shane says nobody likes Gambit. That's simply not true, Shane. Right underneath you, Astro Cyborg says, Gambit was so fun when I played it years ago. Maybe you're wrong. But I will agree with you, Shane, that it's not the most popular mode. And so Bungie's like, look, we only have so much, so many resources. Why would we put those resources into a mode that's one of our least popular? And I get it, but and I'll tell you something. I learned my lesson the hard way on Twisted 2012. We had a mode which was so good called Nuke Mode. It was deep. It was interesting. It was loaded for bear when it comes to tactics, different fucking team abilities based on what semi-classes you were working with. It was some deep shit. And there were people who played it. And they loved it. But ultimately, everybody just ran to Team Deathmatch. So for however long that game had a life in it, which wasn't that long, Team Deathmatch was where 95% of our player base was. Every now and then you could get a nuke game going, and I get it. It's more complicated. It takes more, and I get it. I get it. Yes, Carlos says, do you think nuke mode was too hard for casual? Yeah. And it broke my heart because I was just like, but aren't you sick of Deathmatch? And people were like, clearly not. So, I had to learn the hard way. So I guess, Bungie's saying the same thing. No, Trey, I thought you meant like on Discord. Just shoot me a tweet or shoot me a Discord and I'll respond right when the show's over, man. But thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. I'll answer right away. But so part of it is just like, oh, I know that sucks, man. It absolutely sucks to have a mode that you just think is the knees bees and the masses, just like RPG says, just rush to Team Deathmatch. But the other thing about this is it's so funny. It's so funny. I got into it with some Xbox people over the weekend, like fanboys or whatever, where, they were like, oh, look, whenever Bethesda does something wrong, everybody blames Microsoft management. But here Destiny is doing what some fans have called a dumpster fire when it comes to their latest update, and everyone's blaming Bungie and no one's blaming Sony. And I wrote back on Twitter and I said, well, yeah, but the main reason though is because Sony PlayStation has a 2-decade history of putting out insanely quality games all over the place, and they're not always late. Okay. And so they've earned enough goodwill credit in the bank is what it is. It's not apples to apples because Sony has earned goodwill. Xbox can do that, but they haven't done it yet. And hopefully they will. And then people are like, well, no, but Sony doesn't have any multiplayer games. And I'm like, yeah, they don't. I mean, they have some. But end of the day, though, it's certainly not their bread and butter. Rathizzle says Bungie should get the ire of players, as should Arcane for Redfall. I don't agree with that. I think the buck stops where the buck gets paid out, and that's at the head of the fucking publishers who fund these fucking things. The issue with Bungie, says Shane, is they say a lot and slowly but surely walk it all back. It's a paywall city. Now all of a sudden they say it isn't a player versus player game. Yeah, I got to say, I played a little bit of Destiny 1 and I moved on. I liked it, but it felt too intimidating, like once you kind of fell behind the curve. And I didn't like that I couldn't play it solo when I wanted to. Sometimes I don't want to get people together and go, let's go fucking kill a boss. I'm like, I just want to play. Anyway. I have not played Remnant 2, Benix. That's one of the games that I have allowed to pass me by, even though I hear it's good, because I just can't. I gotta put my fucking foot down on something, and say I don't have the time to play all these games. So that's one that I've kind of walked away from. But it is an interesting question, though. Thank you, Bearskin. I appreciate it, buddy. It is an interesting question to me. It's like, allocating resources for less popular game modes. I mean, I think the only reason you would do that, is just for fan PR. I mean, I can't imagine fans are really surprised that they're not putting resources into Gambit. And that's also a really good point. Lutron, Bungie's moving on to Marathon. I'm sure that plays a big part as well. Salvador, hey buddy, 17 months. Appreciate it, sir. He says, Jaffe, interview Scott Campbell with the series out. It could be an interesting conversation. Also release the design book of dart guns. Well, on the latter, I would love to release the design book of dart guns, but I don't own it. And so, maybe I'll reach out to Sony one day and say, can I publish this and make money off it? Because it would cost me a lot. That's like a 300-page document. So to make one color copy is like $85. I'm not saying that's the way you do it. It's not like I take it down to Kinko's, but maybe I'll put a PDF out. I don't know. But as for Scott, though, I don't know. I think I am always grateful to Scott. If you don't know Scott was the co-director of Twisted Metal, ran Single Track and Incognito. Scott and I, it's not that we parted on bad terms, but I just, I think we did what we were meant to do together, and I don't really, I like him personally. He's a good human being. He's a good dude. He's a great dad, a great husband. I'm a fan. But I'm not really all that interested in digging into the past with Scott. I just don't want to. I mean, I'd like to, but I don't want to, as Phoebe said once in Friends. So, but I do. I'm a big fan of the human. He's a good person. Very, very good person. All right, let me move on. Let me see. Hang on a second. No, I don't think so. Arnold says, do you think Sony releases a remastered Twisted Metal collection before a new game? I don't think so. No, I don't. Hang on one moment, fellas. Okay. So, let me ask you this question. Hang on. Interview John St. John, Dave. I don't want to. I mean, that's the fucking truth. The people, I'm not gonna fuck around with you. The only way I do interviews is if they're people I'm genuinely interested in talking to. What would I talk to John St. John about? Hey, if you don't know who that is, he's the guy who did Duke Nukem, the voice. Hey, what was that like? Do people come up to you on the street and, ask you to do the voice? How do you feel about the character now that we've become a more progressive society? Come on. What am I going to do? Same shit. Boring questions. I want to talk to people that are genuine. I'm not saying he's not interesting. He can be a fascinating human. But I want to talk to people. I want to interview people that I'm genuinely like, fuck, this guy or this girl's really interesting or controversial, is what I would say. Listen to this. I have a question for you. I know you're going to go, what? But just listen for a moment. Just goddamn it, listen to me for a moment. Call of Duty is doing a lot of work to stop people from cheating mid-game. We know this. If you don't know this, it's a lot of things. They're going to start taking away your guns in the match. They'll vanish. They put players already in quicksand. You'll start sinking between the level. You'll start hallucinating characters that are not there. And now they're going to shame people who cheat. And their names will be at the bottom like, the Zeke 1970 was banned for cheating. So you'll also kind of be shamed a little bit if you care. And I'm like, all right, maybe it'll work. Maybe it won't. The psychological reasons people cheat are varied. And some people that will affect. But I think for a lot of people, they're not going to give a fuck. You're not even using the real fucking name to begin with. But the reason it comes up for me as it relates to this is where you're going to go, what the fuck are you talking about, Jaffe? As it relates to this story, which is Fortnite is adding a museum about the Holocaust. Now, Fortnite, it's not a level where you fight in. It's, how they have lots of these levels that are just concerts and walk around and whatever. They have one for Martin Luther King. Now, a friend of the show, who actually I got to have on and play his game, who made The Light in the Darkness, a game about a Jewish family in France trying to escape the Holocaust. He made this. And you can wander around and you don't fight, and you don't shoot or anything like that. Because people are like, oh, that'll be terrible. Somebody will go in there and shoot people. And he's like, no, all the guns are turned off and all that. It's just like a place you can go to get educated about the Holocaust. Okay, great. But this is honestly what got me thinking. Whether it's the Holocaust or whether it is I don't know, Somalia, or whether it's the killing fields, or whether it's what was the black town that the white supremacists firebombed that was like the Black Wall Street? What was that called? All those things are great. Not great, they're horrible, but they're great to put into a video game as a way to educate people or whatever. But just building a museum, right? I think games are so filled with the potential to really teach and really allow people to experience things in a way that you can't in any other medium. And so if you were to do something like, this is a half-baked, barely baked idea, and I'm not saying do it. I'm saying this is the kind of thing I'm thinking. If you were to create a metaphor, I'm not going to compare this to the Holocaust or the killing fields. I'm saying metaphorically, if you could create a game that did something with your clan or did something with your friend group or your party, and it made you not feel like a victim of genocide, but there was a shaming or there was a removing of members of your clan and party and all this. And then ultimately at the end, it was also revealed that this was a metaphor for some of these genocides or even slavery, splitting up families, when they came to the South. I just think it's like when I see stuff like this, I go, I like what it wants to do. And I like that we're using games to educate, but I think we could do it in a way that really, sucker punches people and makes them go, fuck, that's tough. Not just tough, but I mean, that's, I never thought about it like that. It's just some event in history to me. Oh shit. If that's like 0.1% of what it might feel like to be split apart from your family. Interesting. That's all I'm saying. I thought it was interesting. I want to walk through this. I've watched the YouTube of it, and it was cool. But again, it's preaching to the choir, right? If you are aware of the Holocaust and you're not one of these idiots who is out there going, it didn't even happen. If you're aware of it, this is, you're already converted to the cause of any genocide needs to be called out and stopped. I don't think your average person is going to click on this to begin with, let alone once they click on it, walk around and go, oh, I was here to play Fortnite, but let me read about, the Tunisian Jews who were put in the camps and all that stuff. I just don't, I think though that, its heart is in the right place. Luke's heart, who made it, is in the right place. The light and the darkness I need to play. You may know him. He was on Colin's show, Sacred Symbols Plus, a while ago. But it's interesting. It's an interesting thing that we should do with games, I think. I really think there's something there. And a lot of people do. There's a lot of smarter people than me that think this stuff, talk about this stuff. And not even educational. Bob says, I agree. Games don't necessarily need to be simply entertainment. They have the potential to be educational. It's not about the education. It's about the feeling of what will turn this from just being dry black and white photographs into something that really has meaning. I'll give you one more example. I was playing the game Inside, and it's one of my favorite parts of this game was when you have to march along in this line with all these other prisoners, and you have to march kind of in lockstep and sort of conform to be like everyone else in order to survive that section of the game. And that's what I'm talking about. It was such a brilliant intentional or not, I imagine it was intentional, statement on the tragedy and sometimes necessity of conforming in order to survive or in order to succeed, even though it means you have to kind of take what you are and what you want and shove that shit into a deep hole. I mean, that's the kind of stuff I wish there were more people out there doing with games. And hopefully we'll see that mixed with something like the Holocaust Museum and Fortnite, and then we'll actually be able to change people's thoughts and minds and open up dialogue, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Have you heard about the AI conversations you can have with the Holocaust survivors? Yes, there is an episode coming up tonight or tomorrow of I Love the Weird. And even though we're not talking specifically about that, there is a reference to that based on a topic about sort of futuristic tombstones. I'll leave that. I'll leave it at that. Let me get some of these chats here. Thank you, fellas. Okay, so Carlos says, hey, 23 months. Thank you, buddy. He says, since game ports are in the news, how much does it cost to do a port? It's a lot of work to do a port, is it? I fucked the language up there. I think it really depends. I mean, if you're talking about a straight port, like, hey, we have Gotham Knights and we're the developer and the publisher, let's outsource this to a team to get it running on Xbox or PC. It's certainly nowhere near the cost of making the game from scratch, but I couldn't tell you. I've not, let's see. Every game I've worked on, I think, at least when I was at Sony, was ported, but I don't remember what the budgets were if I ever even knew them. But it's work. I mean, it's, you got to get it running on the system and make adjustments and changes and all that shit in order to make it run the way it's meant to run. And sometimes you have to make, the most fascinating one I heard about was when they ported, even though it was a shit port at first, I don't know if it's gotten any better, but when the developers that ported The Last of Us to PC, and it never really occurred to me till I read some of their stuff on the PS blog about, people play this game now with a mouse and they play it with the keyboard, and the way you sneak or the way you stealth, because a lot of people don't have analog, WASD keys. And so how do we make the tension and the stealth aspects of the game that in the PlayStation game with the controller, you're barely pushing the stick so you don't make noise. But now how do you do that with the keyboard? There are some interesting challenges port teams have to deal with to allow the vision of the game to work while still acquiescing to the hardware that the port is being done for. But I don't have a lot of experience with it. Arnold, I don't remember if we got royalties. It's been so fucking long, man. I just don't know. Oscar Rodriguez, thank you for the super chat, buddy. He says, hey, if there's one person I'd love to have a conversation with, it's George Lucas. Not a single mention of Star Wars or his general filmography. I'm curious about that. I wonder why. I mean, I've met Lucas once. He was a very quiet dude, but he didn't know me. I've read Skywalking, which was the biography of Lucas. He seems pretty... I mean, if you don't want to talk Star Wars, what would you want to talk to him about? I mean, what American Graffiti, or what it feels like to be that important to the culture. I don't know. Yeah. Hey, Master Luke. Yeah, I have met Lucas, but I met Lucas and Spielberg at the same time, and Spielberg was a joy. And Lucas, my understanding is Lucas is just very introverted and quiet. And if he doesn't know you, he's not really looking to get out there and meet fans and stuff like that. I was in college. I was making a movie, student film, and me and my producer saw that they were on the set of another, or at a party, and we asked them to come visit our set before they left because their limos were parked right by where we were shooting on the soundstage, and they came by, and it was just, I was so fucking starstruck, dude. It was terrible. Oscar, super chat, thanks, buddy. He says, speaking of digital museums, have you heard of Tuvalu? No. Apparently it's an island nation that will sink, and they want to preserve it via the metaverse. Oh. No, I have not heard about that. That's pretty cool, though. It sucks it's going to sink, but that's pretty cool. I love virtual museums, though. I really, really do. I'm looking forward to the day when they get a bit more robust than they are now, but I'm a big fan. Oscar Rodriguez says you'd talk to Lucas about his love of cars, what he thinks of life. Okay. Well, give him a call. I don't think he's very busy these days. Alex S. says, Jaffe, I believe your Into the Weird show is very popular. I'm surprised you're not charging for seats. It's not very popular. It's certainly not as popular as this show. I love doing it, and I know people that show up for it love it when I do it, but I try to do it once a month because, it's not what really grows the channel, but I can't not do it at least once a month. If you don't know what he's talking about, I Love the Weird is, let me show you the thumbnail for tonight or tomorrow's show, just to get an idea what this fucking thing is. Then we're going to move on and talk about, I will talk about some other stuff. Oh, we will. I got to tell you about some other stuff, but let me show you what the good sir is talking about right now. Let me bring that up real quick. I'm going to go do Colin's show tomorrow, by the way, while I'm doing this, with me and Gene Park are going to do a Sacred Symbols Plus tomorrow, talking about Twisted Metal 1, actually. And then on Friday, you guys tell me if you have any ideas. On Friday, I'm going to do a Constellations. And I don't have any fucking idea what to talk about on Friday. I really don't. I don't know. I don't have a topic. I don't know what I want to talk about. It's a good question. Eddie T says, I want to know about the blue liquid that barbers have. Does it taste like Kool-Aid? It does look good, huh? Here's the thumbnail. This is the kind of stuff we talk about on I Love the Weird. So we got time traveling Tom Hanks, weird tombstones, story about a guy who hid in this woman's attic, took pictures of her while she slept, crawled down into her bed, and took pictures of certain parts of her body. Bunch of other shit like that. There's a bunch of stories we'll be going over. This will be tonight, or this will be sometime tomorrow. That's I Love the Weird. But what should I talk about on Constellations? Anybody got any ideas? Because you bring whatever topic you want, but I just don't, I usually come up with the topics like the morning of this. But I don't know. So if you guys think of anything that would be a good thing to talk about, let me know. All right. Talk about how Zelda made 18 million in 2 months. We usually kind of move away from that, like video games. We try to not talk video games because so much of his channel is video games that we try to move into other stuff. Listen to this. Twisted Metal, the show, is literally sitting at a 70%. A 70% on Rotten Tomatoes for reviewers. It's sitting at a 94% for over 1,000 plus audience score. What? This is like a fucking dream. I don't make any money off it. I'm not involved in it. It's not my personal creative success. It's based on stuff I worked on with Scott and the team and Jeff Goldsmith and all us. But I'm pretty fucking impressed. This is some fuck you to the haters. I love it. People shitting on Sweet Tooth and his pals. I love that. I'll get some of these super chats in a second, but let's stay on TV for a moment, shall we? Have you seen this? This came out 2 years ago. Okay? But I only discovered it 3 days ago. It's on Amazon Prime, but you can't even watch it on Amazon Prime. It's on their free ad-based service. I can't find it anywhere else. It's called like Freevee or whatever. It is a documentary. It's an 8-part documentary series all about video game box art. It is called Video Game Box Art, the stories behind the covers. I can't show you much of it because I don't want a copyright strike, but they talk to this guy, who designed all the packaging of the Nintendo boxes. They talk about, look at this shit. The Mega Man box designer, Adventures of Bayou Billy. I mean, now they're showing me ads. The point is, though, it's really fucking cool. And if you are into video game art, I highly recommend this. Master Luke says, did you choose your game's box art? Yeah, I did. I mean, so the way it always worked at Sony was marketing had final say on marketing, but it was a very close relationship, just like marketing, like the developers and product development had final say on development, but marketing, could be a close relationship if they had opinions. But ultimately, though, it was marketing's say, but I was always heavily involved. Yeah, I absolutely was. So I'm just giving you a heads up. Give it a look if you want. The last thing I'll say, I don't remember who it was in the chat, but someone in the chat recommended to me, they said, hey, Jaffe, watch Devs. You'll really like it. And I was getting, and this is on Hulu, I was getting Devs mixed up, I think, with this Amazon show about the afterlife or whatever. And I'm just like, I'll get around to it. But I started watching Devs this weekend. I watched the entire 8-episode series. It's from the guy who does Ex Machina, right? And the guy who did Annihilation with Natalie Portman. Alex Gardner, I think his name is. And boy, I'll tell you, it's really interesting. It's really good if you're into sort of AI and computers and predictive deterministic aspects and the multiverse. It's a smart, interesting, wonderful show to geek out on if you're into those kinds of things. I highly recommend it. It's called Devs, and you can pick it up on the Hulu. Give it a look, man. Give it a look. It's decent. I had problems towards the end, says DeNova. I definitely have some questions. Death Proof says, hey, maybe your topic on Colin's show could be your favorite offensive comedian. Perhaps, sir. Perhaps indeed. All right, 1 minute. Let me see this. I want to show you one last thing real quick. Have I seen the experimental short Tub Girl? No, I don't know what that is. Man, Jaffe, all about AI lately. I'm starting to think machines got to him. I think it's amazing, man. Look, I don't know if you guys saw recently the video, text to video, which I know we've seen, but it has, in the last 4 months, it has jumped leaps and fucking bounds, man. It is just, 2 years out, we'll have features that will be good. Alexa, stop. I don't understand. Red Dead announcement video now has 28,000 likes to 56,000 dislikes. What are they upset about? You don't know what he's talking about. Red Dead Redemption is getting a remaster, I think. Isn't that what's happening? Let me go to it real quick. Red Dead. I don't understand why people are upset about it. Tell me. Red Dead Redemption remake or remaster, whatever. A port of the first one has been announced for PS4 and Switch. Are they upset? No, and now it says Red Dead and Undead arrive on PS4 via PS5 backwards compatibility. Oh, it's a $50 port? Well, then don't play it. I mean, if it's just a port, then what do you care? I mean, it means you've already played it. Like, I've never played Red Dead Redemption for more than 20 minutes, and I want to play it. So for me, it's great. I'll pick it up. People thought, okay, well, Massachusetts says they're upset because they thought it was going to be a whole remake. Well, fuck them. That's them. That's a them problem. Don't hate on the announcement. I'm disappointed. It wasn't what I wanted. Dislike. Idiots. I mean, don't fucking play it. And I don't mean that disrespectfully. I'm just kind of like, you weren't promised anything that was taken away. That was your own shit that got in the way. Johnny Ravioli says, Jaffe, why not just play it on Xbox X? It runs at 4K 60. I think I will. That's a good point. I'll just play it like that. Listen to this. Why T2 super chats? Thank you, pal. He says you went over the dude forgot to turn off Chun-Li nude mode during the tournament. I didn't go over it because it was kind of a nothing thing. I was bummed because I heard about it, and I guess the guy that was hosting the tournament had put in a nude code or a mod or whatever for Chun-Li to be naked. And so I'm going to click on this. I want to see what this looks like. And it looks like she's just wearing a peach-colored nude bodysuit. It doesn't look like you can't see anything really. So I didn't really get the big fucking deal. It wasn't like, oh shit, that's some X-rated shit right there. It was just like, okay. So I appreciate the question. I appreciate the super chat, but no, I didn't talk about it because it kind of was, not much to talk about. It was just like looking at somebody in a full body Lycra suit. You saw everything. Okay, well, maybe I wasn't watching the right clip. I did see, I'm not going to lie, when somebody told me there was a Claire Valentine nude mode for RE2, I didn't buy it or download it because I had it on PS5. I don't know how to do all that stuff, and it would be kind of distracting. I wouldn't want to play the game that way. But I did go to YouTube just to see it. I was like, oh shit, that's pretty cool. That's pretty fucking cool. Oscar Rodriguez, thank you, buddy, for that super chat. He says, if Michael Myers played Twisted Metal, what would he wish for? Michael Myers, as in the killer in Halloween. I will not call him the Shape because I think it's stupid. What would he wish? Well, he'd probably wish for Jamie Lee Curtis's character to be, to kill her. I imagine his wish would be very similar to Sweet Tooth's wish in 2012. Assuming that he is conscious enough to have wishes. Sometimes he's portrayed like a shark, like a force of nature or something, where he's not like sitting around thinking about what wish should I have. But I know in the latest ones where you got to see his face, which I fucking hated, maybe he would be able to stop and make a request. I don't know. Jaffe, why would Sony secretly pay for an exclusive when they paid for another exclusive publicly? Also, wouldn't that information be in the books? Yeah, I don't. Bacon Magma. I think he's talking about the making sure Baldur's Gate 3 didn't ship this year on Xbox, assuming that's even legal. Assuming it's legal, why would they not? I mean, I'm sure it would come out eventually. I don't fucking know. Maybe the deal had to be done and it was still during the Activision thing and they were worried about it. I don't fucking know. I mean, I'm making it up. I'm not saying it actually occurred, but if it occurred, then maybe they didn't want, while they were battling Xbox for being like, you're taking choice away from people, to basically turn around and do the actual same thing. Master Luke, you have to understand, I have ADD, man. You are on my list. I cannot wait to work with you. I want to get you a list of the cartoons I want. It's not that I haven't done it because I'm not going to do it, and it's not that I haven't done it because I don't want to do it. I have so much energy in the day to do things that are not super exciting to my brain. And what's exciting to my brain is getting the artwork you will create, but sitting down and thinking, okay, what do I need? I have this show. I have these membership tiers. I want a piece of art for that. That's boring to me. That's incredibly dull to me, which doesn't mean it's not going to get done. It will get done. But just so you know, that's kind of why it's taking me so long. It's nothing personal. I'm very excited that you're going to work with me and we're going to make some shit together. I think it's cool, man. I'm a big fan of your work. Lutron has upgraded his life to the Cult Calypso. You'll be glad you did, sir. You'll be glad you did. And here's the reason why. RPG says, are you just old or it's ADD? It's ADD. I've had it my whole life. No, I appreciate you asking, Master Luke. It's a me problem, but I will get to you. Ultra Awesome says, talk to Constellation about AI and the relevance of art. That might be interesting. I did beat RE4. I'm almost done with Dead Space, Water Princess. But Lutron, here's why. Here's why you joined the cult at a good time. Because I've been wanting to do this. You know what? It's part of this story I'm going to get to. I'm going to save the specifics. P Turtle, I may actually have the energy for you today, but let me get through these stories first. So Gen Con, which is a board game, card game, analog game convention that just happened this weekend. I've never been. I've always wanted to go. Just never gotten around to making plans. There's a bunch of video game board games that are coming. This one, excuse me. Neck's killing me. This one is interesting. This is Call of Duty, the board game. I know that sounds crazy. But this is pretty fucking cool. You basically pick your character. You pick your main weapon. You've got 3 different color dice, right? And the dice reflect things like, I'm not going to tell you about the whole game. I'm not going to bore you with rules of a game, but I just want to give you an idea what this is. The die reflect accuracy, defensive fire, or aggression, and you combine them with cards, which are like perks and kill streaks and all that shit. And you're basically, I believe you're going out against another guy just trying to kill him. So it's kind of like a deathmatch board game, basically. It's pretty fucking cool. That one's out. The Last of Us Escape the Dark is about to come out, or this was at Gen Con as well. This one's pretty cool because you're trying to basically get to, where were they trying to get to in the first game? Some city. You're trying to get to the city, but there are weapons and gear and shit that you need for your entire journey. So it's a co-op game. One plays Joel, one plays Ellie. And the longer you stay in environments, the more dangerous they become, but the more chances you have to get cool upgrades and weapons that will help you create abilities to get to where you're going. That's pretty cool. I'm excited for that one. I don't know anything about this one other than, oh my God, there's an Apex Legends board game. Look at the props that come with board games these days, man. I mean, it reminds me of buying, games on PC back in the day that just came with all of this fucking shit. If there is a board game based on aliens, there should be. There is actually one of the God of War designers, a buddy of mine, Scott Rogers, who sadly is sick again. Makes me real sad. He beat cancer, but now it's come back. But he made that game. He's done a number of board games, and one of his most recent is, in fact, Aliens. I forget the subtitle, but it's an alien game. Absolutely. Texas Chainsaw Massacre is on Game Pass. It's not on Game Pass yet, is it? Yeah, Bloodborne has some good board games, and then there's this new one that they revealed this week, which is Monster Hunter, the second Monster Hunter, Iceborne. I mean, look at the gorge of this. It's just beautiful. It's so elaborate and just really lovingly crafted. I'm a total fucking fan. A total fucking fan. This is this was a Gen Con. This is Dead Cells. Look at, oh, you can't see it. Are you not seeing any of this? God damn it, Maverick. Sorry. Okay. Here's Dead Cells. I'll show them to you again real quick. Here's Dead Cells. This was a Gen Con reveal this week. It doesn't have the Castlevania stuff, of course, but that's a pretty looking game. Let me show you these other ones. This is the Monster Hunter Iceborne. Look at that. Look at that. Look at it. Just beautiful. Just fucking gorgeous. This is Apex Legends. Which, again, I don't know what you do in that game. This is The Last of Us. Right? Here's Joel and Ellie and all your gear, and you can upgrade and craft gear and get items and shit. Really, really cool. This is the Call of Duty game. Here are the different dice that represent the way you're going to, affect the weapons. You each have screens so people can't see where you are unless you fire, I assume, and then you pop for a little bit. You've got all this stuff. Pretty fucking cool, man. Pretty fucking cool. So let me go back to Legends for a minute because I am committed to this. I've been wanting to do this for a long time, and I just haven't made the time. But I want to do this with Cult of Calypso and God of War members in the next 2 weeks. But I got to learn how to play it. Let me show you this. Senior Ricketts, how did I like the Twisted Show? I loved it. Excellent. Excellent show. This is a game. It's called Tabletopia. It's a browser-based service. And it's free, or you can kind of subscribe to get the premium stuff, but I think as long as I'm subscribed, it doesn't matter. This is a Resident Evil 3 Nemesis game that I'm going to be playing online with Cult members and God of War members, hopefully Legends, if it's... or sorry, Lutron, not Legends. Lutron, if it's your cup of tea, then maybe you'll jump on board and play with us. But this is really fucking cool. Look at this interface and look at how they... and I've tried to learn this. It's a simple game. It's only the rules are like 3 pages. I just, I haven't had a lot of chance to sit down. This is pretty much... Okay, it's four pages of rules. Not a big deal. But it's all here in your browser. Everybody's got their own cameras, right? So I can kind of go to, let's see. So I can sort of set cameras for the game. You can zoom into any of these things, right? I mean, this is the next game night thing we're going to do for members. So if you're interested in this kind of stuff and you want to play Resident Evil with us, get yourself a membership, right? You can there's your health, it'd be fun. You can get your different cards. It's very digital, but it's analog, right? So you've got some things that you have to, it's a really neat interface. Like you can go over here and go, they have different actions. If you want to flip things, roll the dice. Let me see if I can roll the dice. It's just R. Okay. So you pick up the dice, you hit R, right? So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So this will be something coming up for members very, very, very soon. And if you like board games that you can play online with people that aren't in your home, I do recommend checking out Tabletopia. I mean, look, they've got so many fucking games, and some of them are pretty fucking... it's not Tabletop Simulator. I hate Tabletop Simulator, even though it's really cool, because it's... I got to upgrade. I thought I already upgraded to premium. All right. It's a little too complicated for me, honestly, to kind of figure out certain rules and which things have rules and AI built in and which ones you have to do yourself. But I'll probably get around to it. But I'm a fan. I'm a fan. Check it out if you want. And again, I'll be giving you guys some news next week about playing this title, the Resident Evil game. I just want to see this one real quick. Hang on. It's Tabletopia. I'll put the let me put the link right here for you. All right. I've heard a lot about this game. People say this game's really good. Plus, you don't have to worry about losing the pieces. It is free for some of the games, and then some games you have to kind of upgrade to, a different membership, like a $4 a month or one of those fucking things or something. Like this might be a good one too. I heard this one's really good, right? So whatever it is, and then you can set your cameras. So if you want like a top-down camera to see kind of the meta of everything, you just hit Shift and 5, and if you want your little section. And you just kind of hit Shift and 1, and then you can kind of jump back and forth. It's pretty cool, man. Pretty fucking cool. Thank you, RPG. All right, fellas. Let me bring on some P Turtle here. Let's see what he's on about. P Turtle is Jaffe. What's going on, man? P Turtle, did you pass away? Are you there? All right. Well, he's in the chat room. You can talk if you want.
Hello?
Yeah, there he is. What's up, man?
What's going on, man?
Just doing a show. What's up with you? What's going on?
Well, let me ask you, did you touch on the riot in New York from that streamer kid?
No, I mean, there wasn't much of a story there other than there was a riot in New York because these two streamers, if you don't know what he's talking about, Friday they said, come to this place in New York, part of New York, and we're giving away a bunch of, gaming chairs and this, that, and the other, and PS5s, and it was a big fucking crazy scene, and I think the guy who organized it got arrested because he didn't have a permit for that type of situation. I mean, that's pretty much the story, right?
He's the biggest streamer in the world, but I don't care about that story either. What I care about is you and I have been friends for about 5 years now. You didn't contact me. You didn't reach out. You didn't shoot a message. You didn't do anything to see if I was okay.
I assumed, honestly, because you're so alpha, that you would be able to take care of yourself. And anything that came your way, you would just bat it away, whether it was bullets, bullies, or beer. You would just, knock it out of the line of sight. You're one of the few. You're one of the few people I don't worry about, P Turtle, because you can take care of yourself. You're alpha, baby.
No, you're right about that, but you should have worried because I was with my 17-year-old girlfriend.
Okay, why are you dating a child? Isn't that illegal?
No, 17's legal out here.
How old are you?
I'm in my mid to early 30s.
Oh, you're a fucking pedophile, dude.
Wait, last time we spoke, you said that was okay.
It is okay, but for you, you're a pedophile.
Oh my God. Well, anyway, did you hear that? Because I haven't been tuning into the show much, honestly, because I have been dealing with my girlfriend a lot, and it's kind of a headache.
It's kind of what? It's kind of what?
Been like a headache, man. Like tonight, I have to go to bed early because I got to make sure she gets to school. I promised her father I'd get her to school early tomorrow.
What grade is she in?
She's a junior.
In high school?
Yeah, 17, baby.
You're so full of your shit.
That's when she's the most. Listen, they say, what is it? I think 16 or 17 to 23 is when a woman's most fertile.
You're trying to have a baby? You want a baby?
Hell yeah, I want a whole bunch of little turtles. I'm going to name them after the Ninja Turtles.
Oh, God. Okay, point being is, what's on your mind? What can I help you with?
Did you hear about, I don't know if you spoke about it, the Feminist Frequency ending?
Yes, I did see that. We talked about it a couple of days ago. Yes.
Oh, you spoke about it?
Yeah, I mean, I have issues with Anita Sarkeesian. I like what she was trying to do and what she was able to do in part, because I think her message is correct and was correct, but I think she kind of sometimes used a sledgehammer when a scalpel was probably a better tool in certain topics she was speaking to about the video game industry. But that said, though, yeah, she got tired of it and she's moving on with her fucking life. I know a lot of people say she was a grifter and there's proof that she was never using the money she earned. I don't know anything about it. All I know is I know her as the lady that was like, hey, there's a lot of anti-woman tropes in video games and we should talk about them. And I don't have any issues with that. I think she's absolutely right.
I see Colin today call her a grifter.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying she is or isn't. I'm saying people do call her a grifter that probably have some stories like, oh, Jaffe, did you know she took this money from Kickstarter and actually went on vacation with it? Or I don't know any of that.
She's a grifter because it was leaked or something that she actually didn't play video games. And she was pretending to.
Well, I don't know if that makes her a grifter. That just makes her a showman. I mean,
aren't you like a Sacred Symbols feature?
What do you mean?
You're like a feature on that show now, right? Like you're the Green Ranger or the White Ranger. Wait, what was he? The Green Ranger or the White Ranger?
Yes.
Before he became, I think he was the White Ranger.
I'm a goddamn grown ass man, P Turtle. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Okay, well, whatever. Anyway, did you have a direct issue with her? Like, did she ever reference you or
I do anything? I want to say she referenced God of War, and I don't know if this is accurate, but I believe she, from what I understand, she kind of took issue with the game because she thought it was misogynistic or whatever, which obviously I don't think it was.
It absolutely is.
It's not misogynistic.
It's absolutely
okay.
Is.
Okay.
It's one of my favorite games.
Okay. The point. That's the only. That's the only relationship or only kind of time our paths have even crossed. And what I would say is, If you know, if she were to have ever reached out to me and said, "Hey, Jaffe, let me tell you how the game is misogynistic," my mind would be open. I mean, I'm not above being misogynistic. Here goes a soundbite. I'm not above being misogynistic, racist, sexist, ableist, in the sense that in the sense that I'm sure everyone does things that are, you know, foundational to the way they were raised and brought up, that are just blind spots for them, that they don't realize that that's what they're doing. And so if she's got something to tell me, I'd go, oh, okay, cool. Thanks for that. I didn't realize that. But I do not think Kratos or the game was misogynistic at all.
Can I ask you one final question about it? I'm going to let you go because, like I said, I have to be up early. I got to get my girl to school.
Do you ever worry about being at daycare late when you drop her off?
Come on, man. But I do have to help her with the homework tonight.
Oh, Lord. All right. Let's go.
Okay.
Let's go.
But do you feel that she left a good mark on the gaming community? Was she a positive influence, you feel, or did she do more harm than good?
No, she did great. She because I don't think she personally left a good taste in people's mouths that didn't like her message. But her message, though, was a great message, which is, hey, go ahead. What?
One of the reasons why Uncharted 4 turned out the way it did.
I've never liked many of the Uncharted games in terms of at least the last two, but what do you mean? I thought people loved that game.
I don't. That game sucked, and I'm not asking about other people. I'm asking about you.
My issue with Uncharted 4 had nothing to do with anything she may or may not have been able to influence. It was all mechanics and pacing. It just kind of went on and on and on.
And he used to bring her in. She used to basically give him, you know, notes and tips on how this could be more progressive. And then even after he would release all these games, she would still bash it. That guy, Neil Druckmann, has been a problem when it comes to gaming.
That guy, Neil Druckmann, is spearheading one of the most popular franchises in video game history.
Really?
It's not
the one that sold this. The one that sold the same amount as Death Stranding. I remember you talking a lot of shit about
The Last of Us 1.
I'm talking about 2.
The Last of Us 2 was definitely not, from my understanding, the sales they expected. Absolutely.
It's 10 million, which is the same as Death Stranding.
Something along that, maybe a little more, but yeah, that's what I remember hearing as well.
Terrible, and that just show you. Well, when you make that progressive stuff and you try to appeal to people like Anita Sarkeesian, that's what happens. And I'm sure, but when Part 3 comes out, it's going to sell 5 million.
Okay, well, first off, let's be clear. I will agree with you that the progressiveness of that game certainly hit sales. But how much did that hit sales? When you ask people about it, a lot of people will tell you it wasn't that. It was either the leaks or it was the fact they killed Joel, right? So let's assume there were 3 things. And let's assume one of the 3 things that was meaningful was the progressive agenda. I mean, I've made videos 4 or 5 times about if they make 3 as powerful as Neil is within the company, you're talking about a lot of money. And are they going to pull them aside and say, I don't know, man, you know, we got hammered pretty hard? Or are they going to say, look, the HBO show is fucking killing it. We're good. Even if we don't sell as many as the first one, because it's not like the TV show is going to back away from that stuff. So, but I don't look at that as bad, though. I mean, I'm sorry. I think, I very much believe in a lot of what Anita Sarkeesian was talking about. I think women for the longest time in games were portrayed as weak and damsels and only sex objects. And it was wonderful, and it is wonderful to see some games, not all games, but some games that say, hey, we're not doing that, right? We're gonna present a world that is more either accurate or how we wish it was or whatever. But I don't think that's I'm playing Double Dragon Gaiden right now, and I love that when you play the female character, anytime she jumps and lands, her boobs jiggle. Well, guess what? Sometimes I'll jump just to see the boobs jiggle. But there's a place for both, you know. I think to say what she brought left a bad taste or what she brought was bad for the industry, that's a ridiculous concept.
Do you believe God of War 1 had strong female characters?
I mean, you know, there were characters that were women in God of War 1 that were, I think, clearly strong. Like, I don't think anybody would look at Athena and go, she was a wimp. But I don't think there was much in the storytelling that the women in that game really had much of a role at all in that game. So I would absolutely say that if someone said it's a definition of sexism when you don't give a woman a role, or but that's not misogyny. That may just be like, oh, maybe we should have put more women in the cast, but you know, it wasn't really. I certainly wouldn't change a thing about God of War other than the tuning of the spike pillar.
How did you feel in God of War 3? Well, I don't know who directed that. Was it Stig?
That was Stig. That was Stig.
Where he used like the sex slave of Poseidon as basically like a puzzle mechanic. Mm-hmm. Did you see that?
Yeah, I finished it. I thought it was a good game.
What did you think of that part, though? Would you say that was tasteless?
No, it's no more tasteless than when Kratos put the dude in the cage and dragged him up the hill and sacrificed him by flamethrowers in the first game. But but I also think, though, that, you know, you're taking a handful of things there that are pretty close to being, you know, the third rail or the middle rail, whatever it is in New York that'll kill you when you step on the subway. And, you know, you've got overt sexuality, and then you've got sort of torture, and then you've got cruelty towards women. I wouldn't have put all three of them together at all. But I certainly don't think it was a problem. I think it fits because Kratos is like, I'll take whatever is at hand to solve my mission. You know, Kratos was never a nice guy. That was never the point. So
yeah.
I would not have done the hose before bros or whatever the fucking thing is. Bros.
Man, that was awesome.
Well, I know you like that, but I don't like funny trophy names in serious games. I think it brings you out of the fiction.
Well, to be fair, that game sucked anyway, though.
I don't agree. I thought it was a great game. It was really
you thought
well.
that was which
God of War 3 was great.
God of War 3. That was the other one.
The Bros Before Hose? Oh, was that Ascension?
Ascension, right. That one was trash.
I only have played that for about 20 minutes, and I loved it. But
because the first, hour is okay, and then it's trash.
Yeah, and I don't know. I put it aside because I was like, oh, I want to stream this, and I haven't gotten around to it yet.
Well, it's trash. But anyway, I'm going to let you go.
All right, go take care of your child.
Can I say one last thing?
Yeah.
I've been playing Street Fighter 6. The game is phenomenal. It's one of the first games I've enjoyed in quite some time. I'm thinking of making a gym. If any of your people in your community want to join P Turtle's gym that I'm going to make, tell them to hit me up on Discord or whatever.
What's in it for them?
Probably just being in the best gym. I mean, I'm incredible in fighting games, so you know.
All right, maybe we'll do a tournament soon.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, seriously. It's late in New York. Is you got to put your kid to bed? What are you going to read her tonight? Goodnight Moon?
She likes Harry Potter?
Oh, Lord. Goodbye, P Turtle. Be well.
All right, man. Always a pleasure, man.
Yep, indeed. There he goes, fellas. P Turtle off into the night. Oh, man. Okay. Pedo Bear Jim, come on now. All right, hey, Ricardo's in the chat. What's up, Ricardo? How are you, good sir? How is life in Ecuador? Ecuador's not a real place. All right, fellas, that's the show for today. Like I said, there is a very good chance, not even a good chance, we will be doing an I Love the Weird. It may be tonight or tomorrow. Tomorrow I will be doing the Sacred Symbols Plus with Colin and Gene. And so I don't know. Why is that on my screen? Is that what I'm looking for? I don't know if I will be doing... I don't know when the I Love the Weird should be. Should it mean tonight? Tomorrow? I don't know. We'll figure it out. What kind of energy I got. But the point is, thank you guys. Let me get some... let's talk. I'll talk to the chat for a little bit. I'll talk to the chat. Mutemo says do it late tonight. I might. I'm only 52. Sometimes I feel like I'm an old fucking man. I worked out today though, so I got a lot of energy. So hopefully I'll be able to do it. Okay, so Eric Lennon says, Jaffe, how did you make friends after college? Work. I'm trying to think if I've made any real good friends after college that weren't people I met at work. If they're out there going, Jaffe, we met after college. No, I mean, it's all through work, really, you know. There were opportunities to make friends with, like, other parents and stuff. But, you know, I like interesting people. And a lot of them were just like, yeah, they want to talk about the stock market and sports. Just typical shit. And they were good humans. I just not for me. That's what I would say. Sam, thank you for the super chat, buddy. He's very generous. Here's what he says. He says, when you go on Constellation this week at Last Stand Media, here's a topic. Whether gaming attracts misogynist, racist, and what it means for the industry. I heard a podcast today about how likely gamers are to hear white nationalism online, a.k.a. P. Turtle. I think P. Turtle's not promoting white nationalism, given that he's a black dude. But it's possible. You know, I mean, it is an interesting topic. I don't know if it's something I want to bring up on Constellations, but I don't think gaming attracts misogynists and racists. I think that gaming's early days, for whatever reason, attracted people who were more, you know, they didn't fit in as easily as a lot of other people. And they also didn't conform, which was great, like a lot of other people. I don't mean Nazis and misogynists, but, you know, I'm sure they fit into that group, sadly, in terms of being, you know, not the most popular kids in school and whatnot. But so much of that has changed now. You know, I got to say, I know a lot of people who watch the show will probably sort of mock it, but, you know, I've been playing more of these cozy games. There's a game I'm playing on Steam right now called, like, Wonderful, which it's a demo. You should get it. It's just really, you know, I never thought video games could be this thing that I engage with just to relax and turn off my brain and just, it makes you feel good. It makes you feel like it's like a warm blanket. So I don't think that, Sam, definition is as prevalent today as it used to be. But you're right that a lot of the gamers are being, you know, introduced to a lot of this shit via games like Call of Duty. And it's not just that, it's also the military. The military uses a lot of video game recruitment to get people to come in and sign up for the army. So, you know, it is a very powerful way to get people into a bit of a clique, from what I understand. Mike Warner, hey buddy, he says, Jaffe, when are you going to stream Twisted 2? God, I love that game on PS5. It does hold up great, doesn't it? I don't know. I want to stream it. I'm just not entirely sure when. Diablo 4 and Tears of the Kingdom are my warm blanket, says Mutemo. Oh, I get you. Mr. K says, this is going to sound dumb, but Sekiro helps me fall asleep. Do not tell Ricardo that. It'll break his fucking heart, man. It'll break his fucking heart. You're right. Awesome Tatum says gaming is how a lot of kids now communicate after school. I've told this story many times, but I'll tell it briefly again. I just loved it when I heard it. And I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever talk to Scott Rohde again. I like that guy a lot. And I don't know if the stream if I've ever said anything that pissed him off or whatever. I hope not. He's a really good human. But I used to sit in his office and we would just shoot the shit about video games. And we talked about that. Because he had teenage sons at the time. And it was the first time that I understood that. Because my kids were so young, they weren't really doing games like they were now. Where he's like, yeah, my kids love Call of Duty, but what they love about it is it's social. is that they go online and they shoot the shit with their friends and they catch up on the gossip. And yeah, they're playing a game, but it's less about the game and it's more about, it's just kind of where they gather. And I just thought that's so interesting. And then you see Discord and you see Roblox and you see all these other games that younger kids are using to connect. And it's like, you know, it's like they don't even have to have proximity. It's very, very cool. Was Scott Rohde a friend I made at work? I mean, Eric, that's a hard one because even though he was never my boss, you know, he was the executive that kind of was in charge of my company. And in that, it's, you know, you never can really know. But I would say yes, though, outside of work. I would say that we would have, if we would have ran in similar circles, we could have very easily become friends. I think just because how can you not be friends with the guy? He's just a good dude. He's a good person. Okay, fellas, have I met Ed Boon? I have. Yeah, he's a good dude. Very, very nice guy. Very, very nice guy. I'm being told, let me ask anybody who knows about OBS this shit. I'm being told I'm getting an error on the stream. It says, please use a keyframe frequency of 4 seconds or less. My current keyframe is 8.3. I don't know what that means. What is a keyframe? Where do I set that? Ricardo, don't send me money. He says, stream Sekiro and Control, damn it. You liked the great. You liked the great. What's you like the great? It says, please use a keyframe frequency of 4 seconds or less. Current keyframes are at 8.3. I'm not sure. Thank you for that, Ricardo. Ricardo, I got so much to play, though, man. There's so many fucking games to play that I just don't know. I don't know when I'm going to have time to play things. It's like merging on a freeway. It's just, you know. I don't think you're wrong. I'm not saying that you are wrong about those games. Those are the frames where you're keyframes are points in video where you have inserted certain graphics settings. Yeah, I'll have to look it up. I've read it twice, Mr. K. I just read it twice. The second time I read it, it was after you asked me to read it. And you want to produce the show. What's that you say, Jaffe? Read that again. Okay, I'll read it again. Blah, blah, blah. Come on now. It says, error. Please use a keyframe frequency of 4 seconds or less. My current keyframes are... frequency is 8.3 seconds. That's all I know. The keyframe you have is too long. What keyframe? I don't have any. I don't know what that is. Anyway, if anybody knows, hit me up on the Discord. Yes, Mr. K, I'll talk to you later today. I'll be around. Master Luke wants me to read it one more time. No! All right, fellas. Be well, be safe. Thank you guys for hanging out. New members, welcome. Thank you to the Super Chats. Thank you to the members. And I will see you guys on the next show. Could be tonight. Could be tomorrow. Be kind. Or don't. Or don't. See you later.